Remember earlier this season when we lost to Brighton 3-1 at home? And then the next match was a Tuesday match against Benfica at home. Benfica, who were in a terrible run of form. And so a lot of us just wanted a nice, comfortable win to put the doubts at ease, and then we narrowly squeak a 1-0 win. So after that disappointing draw against Leeds midweek, doesn't this feel a lot better? What's up, guys, and welcome to the Blues and Stripes. So yes, nice comfortable win, a nice way to put aside that frustrating draw that we had against Leeds, and we did it without a couple of key players too, which is nice because that means they get a chance to rest, no chance of possibly re-injuring themselves, although I do have a couple of questions that I'll bring up later. But before I talk about Rosinha, there is one criticism that I have today that is a major criticism. There are a couple other little ones that I'll talk about when I get to them, but as far as something that kind of pissed me off, it's something that I just want to talk about and get off my chest. Delap's miss in the first half. We need to talk about that because he gets himself 3 assists today, but that miss after what happened midweek is inexcusable. Some people might just brush it off because, again, he gets 3 assists, so people will probably give him a high rating. But for me, that miss is exactly what Rosinha's talking about when he talked about midweek, how he just shut off mentally. That's another example. Because what happened in the build-up to Leeds' second goal? Handball, everybody expects the ref to call it. He doesn't because he's an idiot, but everybody stops. They just turn off. That's not okay. You're not supposed to do that. They teach you as a kid, play to the whistle. So it's inexcusable to not just keep playing, even if you think it's a handball. It doesn't matter. So Delap today thinks the ball's crossed the line. It didn't. Just put it in the back of the net. But what does he do? He goes and picks up the ball, looks at the referee. Hey, it went over the line. But it didn't. And now you've taken your time to go get the ball. The keeper, who also turned off because he thought it was going in, he's now had a chance to recover. All you had to do is just run over there, tap it in, no problem, because you kept going and he stopped. But then by stopping yourself, now he's had a chance to get back in place and make the save. And now you look like a dumbass. And the reason why I'm harping on this is because it just happened in midweek. Normally this would be, okay, it's one miss. We won 4-0. Who cares about the one miss? But because it's exactly the same thing that happened against Leeds, that cost us a goal, to do it again a few days later is not okay. And it's something that needs to be called out. I don't know if Rosinha's going to talk about it. I don't know if anybody else is going to talk about it. But for me, you have to look at that and go, you can't make that same mistake that we just made in midweek that cost us 3 points. That's inexcusable. And honestly, outside of the assists, Delap didn't have a great game today, so that was the one moment for me that just pushed it over the edge, and for me, I don't want to see him anymore. I already feel that way with Gusto. Now I feel that way with Delap too. I don't think he deserves to play, especially over João Pedro. But even if João Pedro needs a break, play Mark Guiu now, because that for me is just, it's not a good look. But moving on from that, Rosinha, as far as the lineup's concerned, like I said, there's probably going to be a bit of rotation, and so there was. Thankfully, James does return to the starting lineup, which is good. Fofana and Sarr in the middle, which, I thought Chalobah and Sarr would be a better pairing, but Fofana and Sarr worked fine today. Hato, obviously, because Cucurella is out. Caicedo and Santos in the midfield, which I think is a good pairing. And then a front four, which is very changed with Garnacho, Neto, and Esteval in behind Delap. Now, here's the thing. I don't want Palmer to be injured. I don't hope that he's injured. If he's not here for any other reason other than illness or injury, I'm going to have some questions. I'm going to have some concerns, because there's no reason he shouldn't at least be on the bench for this match. But outside of that, I do think this front four is a very weak front four, and I think we saw that for majority of the match. They really struggled to get anything going for the most part. It took a few moments of brilliance from Neto to break down the 10 in the box that Hull were playing with. It just wasn't quick enough from the 4 of them. So overall, this was a pretty disappointing front 4 to see. And I realize you're resting João Pedro, but I think he would have been much better to have in there. Because I said in the preview, I don't think he's a 10, but I think the way he's been utilized as a 10 under Rosinha instead of Maresca, I think it is working a bit more. It's almost like having 2 strikers up there instead of what Maresca was doing, which is just playing him as an out-and-out 10, and I don't think that he's comfortable with that. But I think because of that, it was kind of difficult for us to go long with it. We had to stay short, and they were essentially just sitting and waiting for us to come to them, and it kind of played into their hands for a large part of the first half. And I don't mean to keep harping on Delap, but he should be the one that is keeping possession for us. He should be the one that's fighting to keep possession up there, and he just doesn't. Anytime we try to go long, I don't feel like he is the first one there. And that's not good enough, especially when you watch João Pedro up there. He typically is. He's typically battling with the defenders, trying to keep possession, holding up play very well. Delap doesn't seem to do that. Had a couple of moments today where he did hold up possession, but that wasn't from going long with it. That was from when we were knocking it around in the box. He did well to keep hold of it and then flick it off to Estevao on one and then Neto on another. So really, I do think this front four from Senior wasn't great. I think it worked fine because we have enough quality individually to break down this defense. But I think as far as the team is concerned, this was not a team built to break down a low block. And I think we saw that, again, a lot of the first half. But in the second half, subs that were made, I think were fine. Achapong gets another chance at right back, which I think is good because I think that's where he needs to be right now. Enzo gives a break to Caicedo. You give a chance to Darian Mueka, which is nice. And then he does bring on Tosin, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, but overall, he managed the game fine. No real issues with him there. Just I do think that front four could have been a bit better. And again, I'm waiting to hear what the explanation with Palmer is, but I do think he should have at least been available off the bench. I'm not saying he would have come off the bench because I think we didn't really need him or João Pedro today, but I don't really understand why he's not there. But anyway, moving into individuals, Sanchez had a couple decent saves to make. He did have one great one right at the end. Ball over the top, Tosin and Sarr caught a little bit unawares by it. And then Tosin does his signature move of running this way, getting cut, basically like he's on skates. And the guy toe pokes it. And honestly, I thought he had just hit the post from the effort. But watching the replay, Sanchez actually does really well and flicks it onto the post. And I am happy for him in that sense because he's been trying so hard to keep clean sheets these days, and it just isn't happening for him because the defense has been so bad. So it was nice to see him keep a clean sheet today, and another great save from him that shows what a keeper he can be. Reece James, not his best performance, but a solid one. Something that I didn't really talk about, but after the Leeds match, some Leeds fans did get in my comments and tried to throw some shade at us, saying we don't have the experience needed to see out a match. For me, I don't see it as an experience problem. I think we've got enough players here that have at least a few years of experience at this level. They should be good enough. The problem, in my opinion, is we only have one leader, and that is James. Past that, I don't see anybody being a leader in this team. Nobody is there to smack some people over the head, make sure they don't turn off in the situations like we saw against Leeds. We don't have anybody on the team outside of James that does that. So if he's not fit, the vice captain is Enzo, and I don't see him as a leader. I don't see him going around to everybody and building them up, knocking them around, anything like that. So that, in my opinion, is what we need to fix. We need somebody to step up as a leader. I do think because the fact James was in today, I think we saw a bit more comfortability back there. But yeah, his overall performance wasn't quite up to the same standard. His passing was a little off at times. His crossing wasn't great. But Fofana and Sarr, I thought both played well today. Sarr, first chance to see him, and obviously he'll have tougher tests than he did today, but I thought he did well. On the ball, he was very comfortable. Didn't see a lot of scary moments from him, which makes it even funnier that Tosin played 15 minutes, and I was terrified every time he touched the ball. But Fofana as well, I thought put in a good performance. Little concerning that he's still having to be subbed off, so clearly his minutes are still being managed, which means there's still that possibility of injury there. So until we get him back fully, I'm just never really going to get too excited about having him back there. And then Hato on the left side, I thought was probably our best player outside of Neto. His overall performance today was phenomenal. So energetic, all over the pitch, trying to win the ball back. His passing was good. With Cucurella possibly out for a few weeks, we're going to need Hato to step up, and I thought he did well today. Also, I do want to give him a bit of a shout out because there was a moment in the second half where the cross comes into the back post, and Hato's there with the guy on his backside. And all I could think is if this is Gusto, if this is Fofana, if this is Tosin, Badiashile, any of those guys, cross comes in, guy makes a run off his backside, taps it in for an easy goal. Hato tracks the runner, manages to get in front of him, and clears it out. Brilliant. What I want to see from our entire defense, not just Hato. Into the midfield, Caicedo and Santos both very comfortable in there. I thought they kept possession well. I thought they broke up the counterattacks that Hull tried to build pretty well. Forced them wide, which allowed our defense to kind of set itself. I said in the preview, but I think that center two is probably our strongest at the moment. Nothing against Fernandez. I think he's just proven that he's much better being a bit more forward, crashing into the box. And so because of that, I do see Santos and Caicedo as the best two to sit deeper. Neto, hat-trick, which was brilliant. His overall play today was very energetic. Couple of misplaced passes, but on the whole of it, he was very good today. Estevao, this is a tough one because he obviously gets the goal. His overall performance today, though, it's not up to what we're used to seeing from him, but it's hard to criticize him because we still don't know what's going on with him. And I'm not saying that we should all know what happened, what the personal thing was that he went back home for. I'm not saying that we have a right to know that, but it's hard for us to know what's going through his head right now because we don't know the whole situation. So that's why it's hard to really judge him at the moment, because there are a couple moments today where I'm watching him thinking his it's not here. He doesn't look like he's mentally in this game right now. There are moments where he checks out, moments where he's supposed to make a run and he doesn't. His pass seemed a little bit off. There was the moment in the first half where he's one-on-one with the keeper, takes it around him, and then completely skies his chance. So for me personally, I don't think he looks mentally fit at the moment. I don't know why, and again, I don't think we should know the reason. If it's a personal reason, keep that to himself. That's fine. But I definitely do think it's something that is affecting him at the moment, and I hope it can improve. I hope this week off, maybe they can take a chance to let him reset himself, but at least he gets himself a goal, which hopefully will help with that mentality a little bit. Then Garnacho on the left side, not his worst performance, not his best performance either though. He's energetic, took on his man, beat him a few times, created some decent opportunities, but his overall play was not up to the level that we need it to be. And since he is a player that needs to show up and needs to prove himself, I'll say this is a pretty disappointing performance for him. And then Delap up top, I mean, like I said, got himself 3 assists. He did well in those moments, especially for the Esteval goal. I thought he did very well to hold up possession, take it inside, cut it back to him. But outside of those assists, I mean, there was just nothing from him today. So sloppy on the ball, gave away possession way too easily. And again, that moment of turning off after he thought it crossed the line is just not good enough. But moving on to the subs, Achimpong and Enzo, both of them I thought came on and did their jobs well. Achimpong was kind of interesting seeing him push a little bit more forward. He was playing more of like a wing back almost. I find that a little bit interesting, mostly because I do think the best way to utilize him at the moment, since I think he has the potential to be a center back, I just don't think he's comfortable there yet. I think playing him at a right back that tucks in when the left back goes up would be a lot more comfortable for him. But for whatever reason, Rossinier decided to put him on the right side and just have him go up the pitch, so I thought he did okay. Nothing really phenomenal. Did have one decent chance that maybe should have kept on target. And then Enzo in the midfield, I thought kept the ball moving pretty well. He did fight hard to keep possession too, so overall, decent performance there. Next up were Derry and Tosin, and Derry, I thought looked pretty good. For his debut performance, first time we're really getting a chance to look at him, I thought he had a decent showing. Had a couple of good moments on the ball. Kept the ball moving quickly, nearly created a great chance where he slipped Achimpong in behind, who tried to cut it back to Delap. Maybe a little bit overweighted, but still a good pass and good vision to see that too. So I don't know if he's anywhere near the first team, but looks like the kid could have some decent potential. He's a name that I have heard talked about before as kind of an up-and-coming youngster that might have that chance. So fingers crossed, because I liked what I saw from him today. But Tosin, I'm just going to say it, he doesn't need to be anywhere near the first team. You got Fofana, you got Chalobah, now you've got Sarr. I think those three, you should be fine. Maybe Badiashile comes in every now and then, but Tosin should not be in this team. And today showed it, because as soon as he came in, suddenly Hull started creating chances. And honestly, it was almost kind of comical that Derry comes in, and one of his first moments is nearly creating opportunity, whereas Tosin, one of his first moments, is winning the ball back, but then playing a terrible pass that misses Delap, and then they go long with it. Tosin is just jogging back, like not even trying to make up for his mistake. Whereas Fofana, almost in the exact same situation, great run forward, tries to make a pass, bad pass, gives it away, sprinting back. It just goes to show Tosin, we can't rely on him. There's too much about his defensive work. It's just not good enough. And then the final one was Moika, only got a few minutes, so didn't really have a chance to see much from him. Had a couple of decent moments where he fought against the defense, tried to keep possession, but on the whole of it, I mean, he's not really been a player that I think has been near the first team. So when you only give him a few minutes to step in, I don't really expect to see much from him. But with all that being said, nice comfortable 4-0 win. I'm happy with it. We're through the next round. Hopefully we can continue on this run, because the FA Cup would be a nice one to win this season. And hopefully we take this momentum into next weekend. It's nice that we're going to have a nice week off to give a break to some of these players. But that'll do it for me. So with all that being said, cue the outro. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more Chelsea previews, reviews, and talks. Also, let me know what your thoughts are down below, whether you agree, disagree, or just want to call me stupid. Let me know, we can talk about it, discuss all that good stuff. Also, if you want to hear me talk about TV shows and movies that I like, check out my channel Mason the Brock Henderson, where I upload reviews every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As well as if you want to watch me play through video games and try to make it entertaining for you, I have a Let's Play channel, Meso Hendo Plays, where I upload every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Also, if you do want to help me grow this channel, I do have a Patreon where all the funds and donations will go directly into improving this channel's quality. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace out, and up the Chels.